Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. We love to dig into the research, and today we're looking at something I think we all experience, but don't always think much about. The power of happy songs.
Happy songs, yeah.
Like, why do they make us feel so good? Is it just a surface level thing, or is there something deeper going on?
Well, it's definitely more than just a surface level thing. I mean, think about it.
Okay.
When you hear a song that makes you happy, it's not just that you're like, oh, this sounds nice.
Right.
There's a whole cascade of stuff happening in your brain.
Okay, so brain chemicals, neurotransmitters, all that fun stuff.
Exactly. We're talking about dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, all those feel-good chemicals getting released.
Okay, I have to admit, when I saw neurochemicals in the research, my eyes kind of glazed over.
I get it.
It could feel a little overwhelming, but then I thought about a really specific scenario. Like, you're a new parent, you're exhausted, you're running on fumes,
Yeah.
and your baby just won't stop crying.
Oh, yeah. Been there.
What do? You put on a lullaby,
Right.
right? Something soothing, something melodic.
It's like instinct.
Exactly. And suddenly the baby calms down, you feel a little more relaxed, and there's even this sense of connection in that moment. Is that the dopamine and oxytocin kicking in?
It absolutely could be. Think of dopamine as like your brain's reward system, right? So when you hear a happy song, your brain's like, hey, this feels good. Let's have some more of that. And then you've got oxytocin, which is often called the cuddle hormone.
The cuddle hormone, I like that.
It's all about bonding and trust and connection. So it makes sense that a lullaby with its gentle rhythm and calming melody would trigger both of those chemicals, creating this positive feedback loop for both parent and child.
So we're literally wired to respond to happy music.
Yeah.
It's not just some random preference.
It's built into us.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's not just about babies and lullabies, right? I mean, I was reading about a study where they played nature sounds mixed with upbeat music for office workers.
Oh, interesting.
And it actually led to like a 15% decrease in their cortisol levels, which is the stress
Oh,
hormone.
wow. That's significant.
Right? Like, that's a pretty compelling reason to invest in some noise-canceling headphones and a good playlist.
For real. And it shows that this isn't just limited to specific ages or situations. This is happening all the time.
Right.
These neurochemicals are shaping our moods, our behaviors, our interactions with the world.
So we're talking about a pretty powerful force here, not just some fleeting feeling of happiness.
Absolutely.
And the research even suggests that it goes beyond just mood. It can actually boost cognitive function.
Yeah.
Things like memory attention, even creativity.
Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting research in that area.
That's the part that really caught my attention.
Right.
Like, if I can sharpen my focus and come up with better ideas just by listening to some good tunes, sign me up.
Well, it's definitely worth experimenting with. There are studies showing that upbeat music can improve performance on tasks that require focus and mental agility.
So it's like giving your brain a little boost.
Yeah, you could think of it that way. And for older adults, familiar happy songs can be especially powerful, helping to trigger memories and rekindle a sense of joy and connection.
That makes me think about my grandma. She used to love listening to old swing records. It was like those songs were a direct line to happier times in her life.
It's amazing how music can do that.
It really is.
Yeah.
And speaking of connections, I'm curious to dig into the social side of happy music, because it's obviously more than just a personal experience, right?
Oh, absolutely. Music is incredibly social. It brings people together in a way that few other things can.
It's like this universal language.
It is. From ancient drumming circles to modern music festivals, people have always used music to connect and celebrate and create a sense of belonging.
But it's not just about organized events, right?
Yeah, not at all.
Think about, like, you're walking down the street and you hear someone blasting a song you love from their car.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you smile, maybe you even start tapping your foot. There's this moment of connection there, even though you don't know that person at all.
Exactly. It's like this unspoken understanding, this shared experience that transcends language and cultural barriers.
It reminds me of when I was traveling in this foreign country. I didn't speak a word of the local language. I was feeling kind of lost and isolated. But then I stumbled on this street musician playing a familiar tune. And it was like this wave of relief washed over me.
Wow.
Suddenly I didn't feel so alone. It's amazing how music can create those moments of connection, even in the most unexpected places.
It really speaks to the power of music to tap into something deeper than words, something primal and emotional that resonates with us on a fundamental human level.
It's getting deep. I love it. So we've talked about the brain science, the social glue, but what about the more intangible stuff, like what our sources call the soul connection?
Ah, yes. The soul connection.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, that's where we move from the realm of pure science into something a little more philosophical, even spiritual.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
There's a reason why music is often described as the language of the soul. It has this uncanny ability to evoke profound emotions, to trigger memories, and to even create a sense of transcendence.
I have to admit that word transcendence always makes me think of something super mystical and out there. But then I think about those moments when a song just hits you in a way that's hard to explain.
You get chills, maybe tears well up in your eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And you feel this overwhelming sense of awe or wonder, like you're connected to something bigger than yourself.
I think that's a beautiful way to describe it. Those are the moments when music seems to bypass the rational mind and speak directly to our hearts, to our deepest selves. It's a feeling that defies easy explanation, and that's part of what makes it so powerful.
This is fascinating. We're just scratching the surface here. I can't wait to dive deeper into all of this in our next segment.
Me too. This is going to be good.
So we've been talking about how happy music affects us personally, the brain chemistry, the emotional boost. But I'm also thinking about the bigger picture, like how happy music impacts society as a whole.
Yeah, that's a really interesting angle.
Because it's more than just entertainment, right? It can actually inspire change.
Absolutely. I mean, think about the protest songs of the civil rights movement or the anthems that fueled anti-war protests. Music has always been a powerful tool for social change.
Right. It gives voice to these powerful emotions and helps to galvanize movements.
Exactly. It brings people together around a common cause,
Yeah.
and it can make a real difference.
It makes me wonder if today's artists are tapping into that same potential.
That's a good question.
Sometimes I hear a song with a positive message, and I think, yeah, that's great, but I don't know if it's going to change the world,
Yeah, I hear you. I think it comes down to authenticity and intent.
Okay, what do you mean?
Well, a song that's crafted with genuine passion and a desire to make a difference is more likely to resonate with listeners than one that feels manufactured or insincere.
So it's not just about making people feel good, it's about making them feel something meaningful.
Exactly. And that's where the artistry comes in. A well-crafted song with a strong melody, thoughtful lyrics, skillful production, it can amplify that emotional impact and make the message that much more powerful.
So there's a difference between a song that's simply catchy and one that's truly meaningful.
I think so. Yeah. One might give you a temporary mood boost, while the other has the potential to inspire lasting change.
That makes sense. And it makes me think about the role of the artist, too. Like, do their personal beliefs and actions impact how their music is perceived?
Oh, that's a complex one.
For example, if an artist writes a song about peace, but is known for being aggressive or unkind in their personal life, does that diminish the message of the song?
That's a tough question, and I don't think there's an easy answer. Our sources actually touch on this idea of authenticity.
Oh, interesting.
Like, do we need to believe that the artist genuinely embodies the messages in their music for it to have a true impact?
Right, because otherwise it feels kind of hypocritical.
Yeah, there's definitely that element to it. And I think it comes down to personal interpretation.
Okay, so some listeners might be able to separate the art from the artist,
Right, and still find meaning in the music.
while others might find it difficult to reconcile any perceived hypocrisy.
Exactly, it's a nuanced issue.
But it's fascinating to think about how the artist's life, experiences, and values inevitably shape their art, whether consciously or unconsciously.
For sure, it adds another layer of depth to how we experience and interpret music.
Right. It reminds us that music is not created in a vacuum. It's a product of the artist's unique perspective. Their influences, their journey.
All of that feeds into the music.
This deep dive is really making me think about music in a whole new way. It's not just about entertainment. It's a reflection of who we are, both individually and collectively.
I love that thought. Music is like a mirror to our souls, reflecting our joys, our sorrows, our hopes, our fears.
And when we share music with others, we're sharing a part of ourselves.
Creating a connection that goes beyond words.
And that connection can extend beyond just sharing our favorite songs with friends.
Of course.
I mean, our sources also talk about the power of music and education therapy, even healing.
Yeah, absolutely. Music has this incredible ability to tap into our emotions and help us process experiences in a way that traditional methods sometimes struggle to do.
Right. It's like it unlocks something within us.
Exactly. Think about how music therapy is used to help people with Alzheimer's reconnect with memories, or how music can help children with autism develop communication skills. It's really powerful stuff.
I remember reading about a study where they played happy music to premature babies in the NICU.
Oh, wow.
and it actually helped regulate their heart rates and breathing patterns.
That's amazing.
It's like music can have this calming, healing effect on our bodies,
Yeah.
even at a physiological level.
It's a reminder that music is more than just something we hear. It's something we feel deeply within our bodies.
It's almost like a physical vibration.
Exactly. And those vibrations can have a profound impact on our well-being, both physically and emotionally.
Okay, so we've talked about the positive effects.
Yeah.
But does all happy music have this power?
That's a great question.
I mean, I love a good pop song as much as the next person, but I don't necessarily feel like every catchy tune is going to heal the world.
I hear you. And I think you've hit on an important point. Not all happy music is created equal.
Okay, so what makes the difference?
Our sources emphasize the importance of intent and quality.
Okay, so elaborate on that a bit.
Well, the song that's created with genuine inspiration and a desire to spread a positive message is more likely to resonate with people than one that's just churned out for commercial success.
So there's a difference between a song that's simply catchy and one that's truly meaningful.
Precisely. One might give you a temporary mood boost, while the other has the potential to inspire lasting change.
It's like the difference between junk food and a nourishing meal.
Exactly. And that's where the artistry comes in. A well-crafted song with a strong melody, thoughtful lyrics, skillful production, it can amplify the emotional impact and make the message that much more powerful.
So it's not just about the message itself, it's about how it's delivered.
Exactly. It's the whole package.
This makes me wonder if there's a formula for creating truly impactful music. Like, is it a certain combination of melody, rhythm, and lyrics? Or is it something more intangible, like the artist's passion or the authenticity of their message?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
And I don't know if there's a simple answer. There's no one-size-fits-all formula.
Right, it's more complex than that.
But our sources suggest that certain elements can enhance the emotional impact of music.
Like what?
Well, for example, using major keys and upbeat tempos tends to evoke feelings of joy and optimism,
Okay, that makes sense.
while minor keys and slower tempos can convey sadness or introspection.
So the musical building blocks themselves can influence our emotional response.
It's amazing, isn't it? And beyond the technical aspects, there's also the power of storytelling.
Oh yeah, like a narrative within the song.
Exactly. A song with a compelling narrative, one that resonates with our own experiences or aspirations. It can connect with us on a much deeper level.
It's like a good book or movie that stays with you long after you finished it.
Precisely. A song can do the same thing, leaving you with a feeling or a message that you carry with you.
And when that message is one of hope, love, or unity, it can have a profound impact on our outlook.
Absolutely. It can inspire us to make positive changes in our own lives and in the world around us.
This is making me think about the power of music to heal and to bring people together.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I mean, we've talked about protest songs and anthems.
Yeah.
But there are also countless examples of music being used to promote understanding, empathy, reconciliation.
You're so right. Think about the role of music in post-conflict societies.
Where it can help to rebuild communities.
Exactly. Or the use of music therapy to help people process trauma and find emotional healing. Music has this incredible capacity to transcend differences and touch us at our core.
It reminds us of our shared humanity.
It's like this universal language, a way to connect with people across cultures, languages, even time.
That's beautiful. This deep dive is really opening my ears to the power of music.
Me too.
It's more than just background noise. It's a language that speaks to our hearts, our minds, our souls.
I think that's a perfect way to put it. It's a language that has the power to connect us, to inspire us, and to remind us of the beauty and wonder that exists all around us.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. But before we wrap up, I'm curious to explore that soul connection a bit further.
Yeah, let's do it.
What's the science behind those moments of transcendence that we talked about earlier? You know, those moments where music just hits you on a deeper level?
Well, that's where things get a little more mysterious.
Oh, how so?
While science can explain some of the physiological and neurological effects of music on the brain.
Right, all those happy chemicals we talked about.
Exactly. There's still so much we don't understand about how music interacts with our consciousness and emotions.
So we're venturing into uncharted territory.
In a way, yes. But that's part of what makes music so fascinating.
The mystery of it all.
It has this ability to speak to us on multiple levels, to engage our minds, bodies, and spirits.
It's more than just sound waves hitting our eardrums.
It's an experience.
And sometimes it can even evoke experiences that defy easy explanation.
Leaving us with a sense of awe and wonder.
I'm ready to explore that further. Let's take a quick break and then we'll dive back in. All right, we're back and ready to keep exploring this idea of a soul connection through music. You know, we've talked about the science, the social aspects, But there's this deeper level that I think is really fascinating.
Yeah, it's that sense that music can connect us to something bigger than ourselves, something beyond our everyday understanding.
Right, and our sources use this term, the soul connection, which I have to admit sounds a little out there to me.
I get it. It's definitely venturing into more philosophical, even spiritual territory.
But at the same time, I can't deny that there are times when music evokes a feeling that's hard to explain in purely scientific terms.
Absolutely. Like you hear a certain melody and it's like a door opens inside you, leading to this place of profound emotion and connection.
Exactly. It's not just about the notes or the rhythm. It's like something deeper is being communicated.
And that's what some people believe is happening. They see music as a bridge between the physical and the metaphysical, connecting us to something beyond our rational understanding.
So are we talking about like a spiritual experience?
It could be.
Huh.
Some people describe it that way. They talk about music as a pathway to the divine, a way to experience the sacred.
Okay. I'm starting to see where this is going, but I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever felt this kind of connection through music?
Oh, definitely. I think we all have those moments where a song just hits us in a way that's hard to explain. You get chills, maybe tears well up in your eyes.
Yeah, like a wave of emotion washes over you.
Exactly, and you feel this overwhelming sense of awe or wonder, like you're connected to something much larger than yourself.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because our sources suggest that these moments of transcendence aren't limited to any particular type of music or spiritual tradition.
Right. It can happen with anything from classical music to pop songs to traditional chants.
It's really about the feeling, the experience that the music evokes.
Exactly. It's those moments when music bypasses the rational mind and speaks directly to our hearts, to our deepest selves.
And it makes me wonder if there's a way to cultivate this connection more intentionally. Like, can we use music as a tool for spiritual growth, even if we don't subscribe to any particular religious beliefs?
I think that's a great question and one that's worth exploring. I think it starts with being more mindful of our relationship with music.
Okay, so what does that look like in practice?
Well, it could involve things like listening to music in a more focused way, really paying attention to the sounds, the emotions, the stories being told.
So not just having it on in the background while we're doing other things.
Exactly. It's about creating space for music to really impact us.
Yeah.
And it might also involve being more intentional about the music we choose to listen to.
So seeking out music that inspires us, that uplifts us, that connects us to something beyond ourselves.
Exactly. Whether it's classical music, gospel, nature, sounds, whatever resonates with you.
And I guess it could also involve creating our own music.
Absolutely. Expressing ourselves through music can be a powerful way to connect with our inner world and maybe even tap into that soul connection.
This is making me think about the power of music in different cultures and throughout history. Like, music has always been a part of rituals, ceremonies, celebrations.
It's a universal language that transcends time and place.
And I think this deep dive has really highlighted that. It's shown us that music is more than just entertainment. It's a powerful force that can shape our emotions, inspire our actions, and connect us to something larger than ourselves.
It's a gift that we can all tap into.
Absolutely. So to our listeners, we encourage you to keep exploring the world of music. Pay attention to how it makes you feel. Seek out those songs that touch your soul. And remember, the power of happy music is something that we can all experience and benefit from.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive, and we'll see you next time.
This is DigitView.